All right. Hey, hey, Star here, the Moon Goddess Oracle. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Edit's Attic. As you can see, Edit's Attic is very peaceful, serene, very colorful. We got the pink and purple. We got the stars floating around back there. We got my crystals, little LED lights on back there. So, hey, Edit's Attic has come a long way. It's not an official attic yet, but hey, nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Um, in honor of spooky season, all right, let me tell you guys, my complex has been like over the top, just a little bit. Certain doors have like gone out of their way to decorate for spooky season. I actually was not in the mood to decorate this go round. Nevertheless, though, hey, that didn't stop me from buying this little cute cup. All right, you guys will see more. I will post that video probably tomorrow, sometime this week, maybe. You guys will see like all of the decorations that the Dollar Tree and Michael's, I may even have a Burlington's video. Okay, so people go all out for spooky season, which I'm happy because a lot of people think it's very dark. A lot of people think you're devil worshippers, you're witches worshippers, and just all types of mean things. Like, come on now, it's fun. All right, let me cut in right here. This is the part where the author describes the kid named Michael. The title of the story is called The Kid in the Basement. Sorry about that. It had got cut off in the editing process. What his real name is. Their parents were friends with my parents, so we weren't close friends, but I was very happy about it. He had what may have been the coolest thing for a kid in the 80s to see. That was a Pac Man arcade cabinet in his basement. Now, to help you understand this story, you need to understand the layout of the house. All right. This was a raised ranch. You walked in the front door looking at a small set of stairs that led down to a finished basement area and a similar set of stairs right next to it, going up to the main floor. You could see the kitchen from the landing as you entered the house, and to the right was the living room. The left side of the main floor was a hallway to the three bedrooms and the bathroom. One was Richard's, where I would be sleeping with another one of his friends. I will call him Michael. I do not remember what his name was. But the basement was what I was focused on because as you went down to the basement family room, there was a hallway that has a small room to the left where the arcade cabinet was. It was a small room covered with brown wood paneling, like all basements in the 80s had. The front door of the coin receptacle was left open, so you did not need quarters. You could just flick the little metal pin to mimic a quarter and play. This is where I wanted to go, but it was time for bed. Now, going into Richard's room, it was covered in WWE, WWF at the time, wrestling posters and toys. I was not as into them as the two of them were. I had Nintendo, but played with them like kids do. We ended up staying up very late, much too late, because the parents just let us do whatever, as this was always common in the 80s, he says, and it was great. This was also my first real sleepover where we had run of the house. Considering we were three boys not being watched, we were not doing anything dangerous. Play wrestling, watching TV in his room, and going to the kitchen for junk. However, we were not playing Pac-Man yet, I thought. First of all, Pac-Man is the jam. All right. At some point, I am sitting in Richard's room by letting myself, the two of them left for some reason. I felt a little uncomfortable for whatever silly reason. They were gone a long time. Self conscious over the fact I was not close friends with either of them, I asked myself, what were they doing without me? Let me check. I leave the room, walking towards the basement, thinking that must be it. Even if they were not there, I would get to go play. So win win. I walked down the stairs to the basement where it was dark. Whoo-wee, but bright enough to see. It may have been a full moon or there were outside lights because I did not need to turn on any lights. I saw the room and saw the hallway where the arcade awaits. But then Richard walked out and stood in front of me. He did not say anything, and he was in his underwear. This was very uncomfortable because he looked mad, like he did not want me to go down there. So when I first read that part, I was like, "Oh, uncomfortable that he was in his underwear, like that." Okay, but whatever. Carry on. All right. He did not want me to go down there. I stood on the bottom step, not moving for a while. None of us saying anything. Finally, I figured, okay, you do not want me to go down here, and went back upstairs to go to bed. All right. As you should have. All right. So I looked up for the second stairs. Okay, to the kitchen is where the chill crawled up my spine. Richard and Michael were in the kitchen getting something to eat and were up there the whole time. Now, Richard was an only child, and there was no one else in the house other than his mother and father. Their rooms were across the hall from his. There was no other way from the basement to the kitchen other than maybe from outside. They could not have walked past me without me knowing. And there was not enough time to put clothes back on and get into the kitchen if they were just pranking me. They also did not say anything about what I saw because I said nothing, thinking if they were pranking me, they would have mentioned it. I went into the kitchen and ate some food and went right to bed. Again, if this was a joke, a 7 or 8 year old boy would have said something. Did not say a word to anyone about the kid in the basement to this day. I have no explanation of this. So, first of all, I forgot to ring us in. Okay. Very cute story, by the way. Very, very cute. And yes, you will have, these encounters that mimic. So my thing is, first of all, I think that, and this is me just interpreting it for this man here that, he didn't ask to, but I'm just saying, like, my first thing would be that sometimes when you do run into something, it's almost that little inkling, right? When you do run into something, you take heed. Okay, you don't question it, because when he said he stood on the stair, that bottom step, didn't move, he was just really, baffled by why he could not be down there, why he, what was the big deal. And so I can really imagine literally just being like, okay, goes back upstairs, runs into both of the friends that were in the kitchen the entire time. Like, so who's this little boy in the house? They don't have other kids, right? You know, yeah, who's this other boy in the house? Who's this boy that's trapped in this basement looking like my friend? Did they have a twin that they locked away? You know, and they did not want nobody to know about this other child. Like, not danger, but there was some weird things, that house had that was very secretive. And I'm not saying that the family was involved, that the family knew of this or whatever, but whatever spirit was trapped in that house definitely didn't want to scare the little boy too much. You see what I'm saying? So he just came in the form of his friend. And because it's a familiar face, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the boy wanted to, if that ghost really wanted to do some spooky shit, you know what I'm saying? He would have, like, rah, like, and not appeared as the friend, you know. So respect to that, because sometimes, yeah, they can be ugly. They can be unrecognizable. I mean, I'll never forget, there was a tall, dread-headed man standing over me in the bed. And I was like, I wasn't spooked, but I kind of just was like, am I tripping? Like, there's a man with locks on, and he had the Jamaican hat. I said, well, he had the Jamaican hat, red, yellow, and green, that red, yellow, and green hat, and just couldn't make out his face. It just was, but it was a dark figure, like, then I'm in the bed, and when you can't move, you can't move. But I did turn around and go back to sleep as comfortably as I could, and just remembered it waking up the next day. So these encounters are very real. They do happen. I enjoyed reading that story. I'm excited for this. So I love a good story. I mean, my thing is this: if you watching, wait. Is this a good idea? I mean, if I had to. Wait. Okay, this is another reason why I got the lights on, y'all, because I don't want to be too spooked my daggone self. My dog was at the door, and all I heard him shake and heard his chain making that noise or whatever. But so, nevertheless, if you have a spooky story that you want to tell me, please tell me. All right. My email is moongoddess.oracle@gmail.com. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Share this video out. Okay. Join the tribe. Hit subscribe. That's all. Until next time. Bye.